UC Berkeley students have a lot to say about the war in Syria and what America should or should not do. But how much do they actually know about the situation? In this episode of CalConnect, we'll illuminate some key points about the war in Syria. The UN estimates that from the period of March 2011 to July 2013, 100,000 Syrians were killed. Although many are unaware of the cause of such violence, one Syrian-American Berkeley student clarified the start of the revolution as the response to the brutal murders of several child protesters.
They took to the streets and it suddenly spread across Syria, even though no one thought that it would. And so 9 months later, in response to these protests, the regime fires live bullets onto the people, just totally massacres them, and Syria becomes a bloodbath, but no one really knows about it yet.
UC Berkeley Near Eastern Studies professor John Hayes attributes the violence to a minority group called the Alawites trying to maintain their power.
And that's the main dimension of the problem in Syria. You have something like 12% of an Alawi population ruling over the entire state. So it means you've had a minority rulership over this population, and I think the ruling Alawis fear that if they lose, they're liable to all be killed, some kind of ethnic cleansing.
Attempts to overthrow the government have resulted in civil war. The president, however, has acted strategically to avoid bringing attention to the attacks.
When the revolution first started, the regime actually had a policy where they wouldn't kill more than 30 people every day, so that it technically couldn't be considered a genocide. So if you think about 30 people every day for about 9 months, that's a lot of people that adds up over time.
Yet it was only after a chemical weapons attack in August that the United States considered active intervention in Syria, bringing about protests on campus.
There were a lot of people on Berkeley's campus, for example, that were outraged all of a sudden, and I wanted to know where was that outrage when Syrian women and children were dying in the streets, or people that I know and love were being tortured, and we were trying to tell people about it.
According to Professor Hayes, a simple solution does not exist.
I think the U.S. position of not backing anybody is probably the best position, in fact. There are so many opposing elements to the government. Who knows which is the one that, if they came to power, would be the best government for the Syrian people? I have no idea. Even though no one likes to see 100,000 or 200,000 Syrians getting killed, I think in the context of seeing it as a civil war, unfortunately, you just have to let it play out. Many more people are going to die, but I think if the U.S. or anyone else became involved, people are going to die too. And my own feeling is not doing anything is probably the best solution.
Reporting for CalTV, I'm Mia Shaw.